The War Council chamber erupted in chaos as the Zelthani High Command transmitted their ultimatum across every human frequency. Commander Jake Norton stood at the observation deck of Orbital Station Arcturus, watching the alien armada materialize from slip space like a plague of metal locusts. 3,000 warships, the largest invasion force ever assembled in the known galaxy. Their powering weapons. Lieutenant Maya Cross reported from Tactical, her voice steady despite the tremor in her hands. All batteries hot, targeting solutions locked on Earth, Mars, Europa, and Titan simultaneously. Jake didn't blink. Behind him, Admiral Preston Kane stepped forward, age-weathered hands clasped behind his back. The old man's face carried something the Zelthani wouldn't understand. Not fear, not even anger. Anticipation. Broadcast response, Kane said quietly. The Zelthani commander appeared on screen, 6 eyes blazing with predatory confidence. Its translation matrix crackled to life. Humans, your 10,000 years of hiding behind peace accords ends now. Surrender your worlds or watch them burn. You have 1 rotation to comply. Kane smiled. Actually smiled. Rotation received, he said. Counteroffer. Leave now. Forget you found us. Go back to your empire and never speak of humanity again. The aliens' mandibles clicked in what their cultural database identified as contempt. You field no navy. Your orbital defenses are ceremonial. You haven't fought a war since your ancestors turned from violence. We are the Zelthani Dominion. We have conquered 400 species. What makes you believe you can stand against us? Kane's smile widened. Because we didn't stop fighting, he said. We just stopped fighting each other. He killed the feed. Maya looked up from her console, confused. Sir, they're charging main cannons. Impact in 90 seconds across all colonies. Let them fire, Kane said. He turned to Jake. Commander Norton, execute Protocol Ascension. Full authorization. No restrictions. Jake felt his heart rate spike. 10,000 years. They'd waited 10,000 years. All batteries? He asked. Everything, Kane confirmed. Show them what we built while the galaxy slept. Jake's fingers moved across the command interface, across human space, from the Oort cloud to the Kuiper belt, from hidden asteroid fortresses to camouflaged moon bases. Ancient systems came online. Systems that had never stopped being maintained, never stopped being upgraded, never stopped being prepared. Because humanity had learned one thing from its blood-soaked past. Peace was a choice. War was a certainty. And you never ever stopped being ready for the certainty. Protocol Ascension confirmed, Jake announced. All Ghost fleets responding. Terra defense grid online. Mars batteries unlocked. Deep system railguns hot. The Zelthani fired first. Humanity fired back. And the galaxy remembered why humans once terrified themselves. The Zelthani plasma barrage lanced toward Earth's atmosphere. Enough firepower to crack a continental shelf. It never arrived. 47-point defense satellites humanity claimed were weather monitors suddenly shed their camouflage plating. Adaptive shielding matrices older than most galactic civilizations intercepted the strike 3,000 kilometers from impact. The plasma dispersed across barrier fields like water hitting diamond. Direct hit on their flagship, Maya called out. No, wait, correction. 3 direct hits. Their shields collapsing. Jake watched the tactical display light up like a circuit board on fire. The ghost fleets were emerging. Hundreds of warships humanity swore it had dismantled millennia ago had simply been waiting, buried in Neptune's ice, hiding in Jupiter's radiation storms, sleeping in the cold dark between stars. The Zelthani had expected victims. They found wolves. Their formations breaking, Lieutenant Cole Davis reported from the comm station. Intercepting enemy transmissions. They're confused. They're scanning our ships, and the signatures don't match any known technology. Admiral Kane pulled up a 3-dimensional battlefield projection. That's because we didn't share our technology with the galaxy. We shared what we wanted them to see. The real innovations stayed home. A Zelthani cruiser exploded in a flash of blue-white fire as Earth's railgun network spoke. Tungsten rods accelerated to .3 light speed, punched through alien armor like tissue paper. No energy shields could stop kinetic mass traveling that fast. Physics didn't negotiate. More ships dropping from slip space, Maya announced. Zelthani reinforcements. Counts at 9,000 total now. They're committing their entire third fleet. Jake felt the station shudder as its own weapons came online. Arcturus wasn't just an observation platform. It was a fortress. 20,000 souls lived here. 20,000 engineers, scientists, and soldiers who'd spent generations maintaining the lie. Peace through strength. Civilization through readiness. Sir, we're receiving hails from the Zelthani command, Cole said. They're demanding to know where our fleet came from. Kane's expression stayed cold. Tell them the truth. Tell them we built it while they conquered weaker species, while they expanded their empire through fear. We were preparing for the day someone mistook our peace for weakness. A Zelthani destroyer tried to ram orbital platform Genesis above Mars. The station's close-in weapon systems turned it into glowing scrap before it closed within 100 kilometers. Explosions blossomed across the tactical map like deadly flowers. Enemy dreadnought targeting Luna Base, Maya warned. Redirect Ghost Squadron 7, Jake ordered. Full assault pattern. I want that dreadnought crippled, not destroyed. We need prisoners for intelligence. 6 sleek fighters peeled away from Earth's defensive screen. They didn't look like human craft. They looked like something evolution might create if metal could hunt. Curved hulls, adaptive camouflage, weapons that bent space-time itself. The dreadnought never saw them coming. Precision strikes took out its engines, weapons, and communication arrays in 40 seconds. The massive warship went dark, tumbling through space like a broken toy. Capture teams en route, Cole confirmed. The Zelthani formation was collapsing now. 9,000 ships suddenly facing an enemy they hadn't anticipated. An enemy that had spent 10 millennia not forgetting how to wage war, but perfecting it in secret. They're trying to retreat, Maya said, opening slip space windows. Negative, Kane said sharply. Deploy the dampers. No one leaves this system until we're done talking. Across the battlefield, hidden satellites activated. Space-time rippled and seized. The Zelthani escape windows collapsed before ships could enter them. Slip space became a wall. They were trapped. Open a channel, Kane ordered. All Zelthani frequencies. Let's explain the new reality. The channel opened. Kane's face broadcast across 9,000 alien warships. You came to our home, he said quietly. You threatened our children. You believed 10,000 years of peace made us soft. Let me correct that assumption. We chose peace because we remembered war. We chose civilization because we knew chaos. And we prepared for this day because we knew species like yours existed. He leaned forward. Your invasion ends now. Your ships are surrounded. Your empire will learn a new word today. The word is consequence. The Zelthani commander's 6 eyes widened in what humanity's xenobiological database classified as existential dread. Its translation matrix stuttered before finding words. Impossible. Our intelligence showed no military capability. Your species abandoned warfare after your great unification. Our scouts confirmed this for 3 centuries. Admiral Kane's smile turned razor sharp. Your scouts saw exactly what we wanted them to see. Commander Norton, display feed 7. Jake pulled up archived footage. A Zelthani stealth probe drifting past what appeared to be a decommissioned weapons platform near Saturn. The probe's scan showed rusted metal, dead power cores, and corroded systems. The timestamp read 80 years ago. Then Jake overlaid the true image from that same moment. The platform gleamed. Active reactors pulsed with power. Weapon batteries tracked the probe with lethal precision. But a holographic shroud covered everything, projecting decay where lethality waited. We let you watch us, Kane said. For 300 years, every scout you sent returned with reports of a peaceful, defenseless species. We made sure of it, 'cause the best defense is being underestimated. The Zelthani fleet tried scattering, tried running, but humanity's ghost ships moved like predators, herding them into tighter formations. Every escape vector closed before they could exploit it. Sir, detecting weapons charging on 7 Zelthani carriers, Maya reported. They're targeting civilian centers. Mumbai, Sao Paulo, Lagos, Shanghai. Jake's blood went cold. Desperation move. They're trying to force a ceasefire through hostage threat. Negative, Kane said calmly. Execute Sentinel Protocol. High above Earth's major cities, invisible barriers sprang to life. Energy matrices humanity had developed during their last Great War, then hidden for millennia. The Zelthani weapons fired. Antimatter warheads capable of vaporizing millions screamed toward their targets. They detonated against the barriers 60 kilometers up. The explosions were biblical. Mushroom clouds of pure energy bloomed in the upper atmosphere. But not a single joule of destructive force reached the surface. 17 million people in Mumbai looked up at the distant flash and went about their morning. Carriers are retreating, Cole announced. No, wait, negative, on retreat. Our cruisers just disabled their drives. They're dead in space. Lieutenant Kara Mitchell entered the command deck, her security clearance badge still dripping with fresh activation codes. Admiral, the Security Council is demanding answers. They're asking why we maintained a secret military for 10,000 years. Kane didn't look away from the tactical display. Tell them the truth. Because hope is beautiful, but preparation keeps hope alive. On screen, the Zelthani commander's composure shattered completely. You deceived the entire Galactic Assembly. The peace accords specifically forbid hidden militaries. You violated every treaty. We signed treaties limiting our visible forces, Jake interjected. We never promised to stay defenseless. Read the fine print. Humanity doesn't lie. We just don't volunteer information that gets our children killed. A new contact appeared on the tactical display. Massive. Singular. Emerging from the space between Jupiter and Saturn. What is that? Maya whispered. Kane's expression shifted to something almost sad. That's the Retribution. Our only dreadnought. The ship we swore we'd never build again after the Unity Wars. The ship that ended our darkest chapter by being so terrible, so absolutely destructive that every nation agreed to unify rather than face it. The Retribution dwarfed every vessel in the battle, 40 kilometers long. Bristling with weapons that predated the current galactic order. Its hull was scarred from conflicts the rest of the galaxy had forgotten. We kept one, Kane continued. How it could have slipped outside of our perimeters as a promise to ourselves that we'd never need it again. But we also kept it ready. Because the universe doesn't care about our promises. The Zelthani fleet stopped moving entirely. 9,000 warships, paralyzed by the sight of humanity's nightmare given form. Broadcast this across all Zelthani frequencies, Kane ordered. Audio and visual. I want their entire empire to hear. The channel opened. Kane stood straighter. You invaded our home expecting sheep. You found shepherds who remember when they were wolves. This battle is over. Your fleet is surrounded. Your technology is inferior. Your troops are outmatched. But here's what happens next. You're going to contact your empire. You're going to tell them that humanity is no longer available for conquest. You're going to explain that the peaceful species you thought you could dominate has teeth. And then you're going to leave our space and never return. The Zelthani commander's mandibles trembled. And if we refuse, Kane gestured at the Retribution, then we remind the galaxy why we terrified ourselves into peace. And trust me, you don't want that education. The Zelthani commander's silence stretched for exactly 12 seconds. Then its translator crackled back to life with a response that caught everyone off guard. You misunderstand our position, human. We are Zelthani. We do not retreat. We do not surrender. We adapt and overwhelm. You've revealed your hidden strength. Now we reveal ours. Maya's console erupted in warnings. Sir, massive energy spike from their flagship. It's not weapons. It's a beacon. Reinforcements? Jake asked. Worse, Cole said, his face draining of color. It's a distress call. Galactic-wide broadcast. They're telling every species in the assembly that humanity violated the peace accords, that we've been building a secret armada, that we're the threat. Kane's jaw tightened. They're trying to turn the entire galaxy against us. Within minutes, responses flooded in. The Kryn Collective, the Valorian Empire, the shifting courts of Andromeda. Species humanity had lived peacefully beside for millennia, suddenly demanding explanations, apologies, immediate disarmament. Political warfare, Lieutenant Mitchell said. They can't beat us militarily, so they're isolating us diplomatically. Jake pulled up the communication logs. Dozens of alien governments threatening sanctions, trade embargoes, some even offering military support to the Zeltani. The galaxy was choosing sides, and humanity's deception had just become their greatest vulnerability. Admiral, we need to respond, Cole urged. If we don't control this narrative, we lose everything we've built. Kane stared at the retribution on his display. The ancient dreadnought hung in space like a monument to humanity's capacity for violence, a reminder of what they'd been, what they'd promised never to become again. Open a channel, he said. All frequencies, every species, every government. Let the whole galaxy hear this. The communication web expanded. Billions of beings across hundreds of worlds suddenly tuned into humanity's response. Kane took a breath and began. People of the galaxy. I am Admiral Preston Kane of the Human Defense Coordination. Yes, we maintained a hidden military. Yes, we violated the spirit of the peace accords while adhering to their letter. And yes, we're about to explain exactly why. He pulled up historical data. Images of Earth's unity wars, cities reduced to ash, oceans boiling under nuclear fire. Humanity's near-extinction broadcast for all to see. 10,000 years ago, we almost destroyed ourselves. We built weapons so terrible that using them guaranteed mutual annihilation. We developed technology that could crack planets, and we came within hours of ending our own species. The survivors swore never again. We unified. We disarmed. We joined the galactic community as partners in peace. Kane's voice hardened. But we also remembered the lesson that nearly killed us. The lesson, written in the bones of 8 billion dead. Peace only survives when good people can defend it. So we prepared, not to conquer, not to expand, but to ensure that when predators like the Zelthani came hunting, we could protect our children. The Zelthani commander interrupted. You speak of defense while surrounding our fleet with overwhelming force. You speak of peace while threatening annihilation. The galaxy sees through your lies. The galaxy will decide for itself, Kane shot back. Commander Norton, release the full tactical logs. Every engagement, every targeting solution, every weapon fired. Let them see exactly what happened here. Jake hesitated. Sir, that's classified battle data. If other species study our tactics... Do it, Kane ordered. Truth is our only weapon now. The data flooded outward. Unedited combat footage showing Zelthani ships firing first, targeting civilian population centers, attempting to crack Earth's crust with antimatter bombardment, and humanity's response, measured and precise, disabling rather than destroying wherever possible. We had the power to annihilate their entire fleet in the first 10 minutes, Kane continued. The retribution alone could have turned 9,000 ships into vapor, but we didn't. Because we're not the monsters they're painting us as. We're the species that learned from being monsters. That's the difference. New voice entered the channel. Elegant, ancient. The Archon of the Kryn Collective. One of the galaxy's oldest civilizations. Admiral Kane. The Collective has reviewed your tactical data. The Zelthani fired on civilian targets. They attempted genocide. Yet you showed restraint even in the face of such aggression. This speaks to your character, but it does not address the central question. Why hide your capabilities? Why deceive the Assembly for 3 centuries? Kane met the question head on. Because showing strength invites challenge. Every warlike species in the galaxy would have tested us, provoked us, forced us into conflicts we desperately wanted to avoid. By appearing weak, we stayed safe. By preparing in secret, we stayed ready. We chose deception over endless war. A dangerous precedent, the Archon replied. If humanity can hide such capability, what prevents others from doing the same? Nothing, Kane admitted. And that's exactly the point. You should be prepared. You should maintain defenses. You should never assume peace means safety. The Zelfani proved that today. They came to our home expecting easy conquest because we looked harmless. How many other species appear harmless while predators circle? Silence rippled across the galactic channel. The Archon's response came after a deliberation that felt like centuries compressed into seconds. The collective acknowledges your logic. But logic alone does not govern the galaxy. Trust does, and you have broken that trust. Kane nodded slowly. You're right, we have. So let me offer something no species has offered in galactic history. Complete transparency. Jake's head whipped around. Sir, upload everything, Kane said. Every schematic, every defensive installation, every ship specification, every tactical doctrine. Give it all to the Assembly. Let them see exactly what we built and why. Maya's hands froze over her console. Admiral, that's strategic suicide. If hostile species get that information, then they'll know exactly what happens if they attack us, Kane finished. That's the point. We're not hiding anymore. The Zelfani forced our hand. Now we turn their trap into our advantage. Lieutenant Mitchell stepped forward. Sir, the Security Council will never approve this. You're talking about exposing Earth's complete defensive infrastructure to potential enemies. The Council doesn't get a vote, Kane said flatly. This is a military decision in an active combat zone. I have authorization. Commander Norton, execute the data release. Make it public. Make it complete. Make it undeniable. Jake's fingers moved across the interface. 10,000 years of accumulated military science began flooding into the galactic network. Ships humanity claimed didn't exist. Weapons platforms disguised as asteroids. Defense grids woven through the solar system like invisible spiderwebs. And the reactions came instantly. The Valorian Empire's War Master transmitted first, his multifaceted eyes reflecting something close to respect. Impressive. Your railgun network alone could hold off a fleet 10 times what the Zelfani brought. Your point defense systems make our best look primitive. Why share this perimeter because threatening you doesn't keep us safe, Kane replied. Understanding does. Every species now knows that attacking humanity is suicide. But they also know we're not hiding anymore. We're not lying anymore. This is what we are. Take it or leave it. The Zelfani commander tried one last gambit. You expect gratitude for your honesty? You've just admitted to violating every principle the Assembly stands for. Deception, secret militarization. You're a threat to galactic stability. We're the response to threats like you, Jake interjected, unable to stay silent. You think we wanted to maintain this fleet? You think we enjoyed lying to our allies? We did what we had to do because species like the Zelfani exist. Species that see peace as weakness, kindness as opportunity. You created the necessity for our deception. A third voice joined the conversation. Soft, melodic. The speaker of the Luminari, a species known for radical pacifism. Humans. We have observed your conflict with great sorrow. Violence begets violence. Deception breeds mistrust. Yet we cannot deny the Zelfani struck first. They targeted your innocence. They sought to enslave your worlds. In this you were provoked beyond measure. The speaker paused. But we ask this question. What happens now? You have revealed your strength. You have proven your capability. Will you use this moment to become conquerors yourselves? Or will you prove that your peace was genuine? Every sensor in the solar system focused on that question. The galaxy held its breath. Tane looked at the tactical display. 9,000 Zelfani ships, disabled and surrounded. The retribution looming like divine judgment. Humanity's ghost fleet positioned to end the battle in minutes if they chose. We're going to let them go, he said quietly. The command deck erupted in protests. Maya stood up from her station. Sir, they tried to exterminate us. They fired on civilian targets. If we let them retreat, they'll rebuild and come back. Maybe, Kane agreed. Probably even. But if we slaughter them now, we become the monsters we've spent 10,000 years avoiding. We become the thing we built all this to defend against. He turned to face his crew. Every person on this station knows our history, knows what we were. The Unity Wars didn't end because one side won. They ended because both sides realized victory meant extinction. We learned that mercy is stronger than vengeance. Forgiveness is harder than hate. And peace requires the courage to break the cycle. Kane opened a direct channel to the Zelthani commander. Your fleet is free to leave. Take your wounded. Take your dead. Take the lesson. Humanity will not pursue, will not retaliate, will not seek revenge. But we will remember. And if you or any Zelthani ship enters our space again, there will be no warnings, no mercy, no restraint. The aliens' mandibles worked silently for a moment. You're letting us retreat after we tried to destroy your homeworld. We're giving you the chance to make a better choice, Kane said. The same chance the galaxy gave us 10,000 years ago. What you do with it determines what happens next. The slip space dampers deactivated. Exit vectors open across the battlefield. The Zelthani fleet, broken and humiliated, began limping toward escape. But the Archon's voice stopped them. Not yet. The Zelthani Dominion will answer for unprovoked aggression, for attempted genocide, for war crimes. Your fleet will proceed to assembly space for tribunal. Humanity will escort you. And the galaxy will witness justice. Kane smiled. Not in triumph, in relief. The gamble had worked. 6 months later, Commander Jake Norton stood in the Grand Assembly Hall on Neutral Station Harmony Prime. The tribunal had concluded. The Zelthani Dominion faced sanctions, reparations, and mandatory disarmament. Their empire would survive, but diminished, humbled. More importantly, the galaxy had changed. Admiral Kane approached, his uniform now bearing the insignia of the newly formed Galactic Defense Council. They voted it through, unanimous approval. Every species gets to maintain defensive forces. No more pretending weakness equals peace. Jake nodded, watching alien delegates from hundreds of worlds mingle in the aftermath of the historic vote. The Zelthani did us a favor. They proved the old system was broken. They proved predators still exist, Kane corrected, and that hiding from that truth doesn't make anyone safer. Maya joined them, now wearing the rank of full lieutenant commander. Sir, the last Ghost Fleet ships just finished their public tours. Every species sent observers. The Valorians want to license our railgun technology. The Kryn want to collaborate on shield matrices. Even the Luminari admitted that defense has its place. And the Zelthani? Jake asked. Quiet, compliant. Their new government formally apologized, requested trade negotiations. Maya smiled slightly. Fear makes excellent diplomacy, apparently. Kane shook his head. Not fear, respect. There's a difference. We showed them we could destroy them and chose not to. That's worth more than any weapon. Lieutenant Mitchell appeared with a data tablet. Admiral, Earth's Security Council wants your final report on the transition. They're asking if humanity should maintain the retribution in active service or decommission it as a gesture of good faith. Kane took the tablet, but didn't look at it. His eyes drifted to the viewing port, where stars scattered across infinity. Somewhere out there, the Retribution waited in orbit around Saturn, its ancient hull a reminder of what humanity had been and what it refused to become again. Tell them we keep it, he said finally. Operational and ready. Not as a threat, as a promise. The promise that we'll never be victims again, but also that we'll never be oppressors. We walked that line for 10,000 years in secret. Now we walk it in the light. The Archon of the Kryn Collective approached, its crystalline form refracting the hall's lights into rainbow patterns. Admiral Kane, a moment of your time. Kane turned, respectful. Archon, the Collective has been discussing humanity's revelation. Your deception troubled us greatly at first, but time has brought perspective. The ancient being's voice carried weight that transcended translation. You maintained the capacity for war while choosing peace every single day for 10 millennia. That is not deception. That is discipline. Perhaps the greatest discipline any species has ever demonstrated. We had good motivation, Kane replied. 8 billion graves worth of motivation, indeed. And now you have given the galaxy a new model. Peace through strength. transparency through courage, defense without aggression. The Archon's form pulsed with what humanity's cultural database interpreted as approval. The collective formally requests permission to study your approach, to learn how you maintained such capability without succumbing to its use. Kane smiled. Permission granted, on one condition. You teach us how to do it better, how to stay ready without staying afraid, how to remember the past without being trapped by it. Agreed. As the Archon departed, Jake watched the assembly hall fill with delegates from across known space, species that had lived in comfortable illusion now facing uncomfortable truth. The galaxy wasn't safe because everyone was peaceful. It was safe because those who valued peace were finally willing to defend it. Commander Norton, Kane said suddenly, what do you think our ancestors would say? The ones who fought the Unity Wars. The ones who built the Retribution and swore never to use it again. Jake considered the question carefully. Thought about the billions who died so humanity could learn its hardest lesson. Thought about the generations who maintained the secret, preparing for a day they hoped would never come. I think they'd say we honored their sacrifice, he answered. We didn't forget what they learned. We just made sure we never had to relearn it the hard way, Kane nodded slowly. Then our work continues. The galaxy knows humanity's strength now. Let's spend the next 10,000 years making sure they also know our wisdom. As they left the assembly hall, Earth rose into view through the station's viewport, blue and green and fragile. Home to a species that had almost destroyed itself, then chose something harder than destruction. They chose to remember, to prepare, to hope for the best, while ready for the worst. And when aliens finally chose war after 10,000 years of peace, humanity had smiled. Not because they wanted conflict, but because they were